People think that the worst thing that ever happened to me was being in a medically induced coma. No. The worst thing that ever happened to me was 3 days after I woke up from the medically induced coma and I was moved from ICU to the regular ward. And a girl that I had gone to school with showed up on the ward round as one of my doctors. That was the worst moment of my life. And if I could have been put back into a coma right then and there, I'd have done it. So I'm a very normal woman in her 20s, right? I love me some true crime. Okay, and I was just catching up with my good friend Bailey Sarian on YouTube yesterday. If you haven't seen her videos, you absolutely should. And, you know, just had my lunch, listening to her talk about a serial killer from South Carolina. And she was like, he's the most prolific serial killer ever in South Carolina. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, yeah, he murdered so many people. And I'm thinking, there do seem to be a lot of serial killers in the States. I do seem to know quite a lot about America because of the number of true crime documentaries I watched. And I'm thinking, well, it's a much bigger country than we are. You know, maybe that's why. But no, I looked it up. And the US has 3 times the amount of serial killers per capita than any other country. Why is that? Are you guys okay over there? Do you need us to come and pick you up? Which characters from the animated masterpiece Shrek and Shrek 2 would I trust to hold my drink? Let's find out. Definitely not Donkey. I love him, but he's a fool. Someone could, I don't know, ask him to find a blue flower with the red thorn, and he would leave my drink unattended. The DJ could put Funky Town on, and he would leave my drink unattended. There could be any kind of snack in the vicinity, and he would leave my drink unattended. There's no one I'd trust more. She would roundhouse kick a man in the face before she let him approach my drink. There's no one I'd trust less. Prince Charming would spike my drink himself, but he would do it so that when I passed out, he could then resuscitate me in front of a crowd. That man loves attention. For his own safety, I'm going to have to say no, because I think there's a high chance that if the gingerbread man was stood in front of my drink, someone would just pick him up and dunk him in it. Especially if the drink in question was a mug of tea. Think of the carnage. Hello, I'm back with more things I don't understand about American schools. There are so many. And please, before anyone mentions the word calculus ever again, refer to this comment. I phrased that a bit terribly. I know we do it, we just don't call it that. I'm sorry. And I'd like it on the record that I got an A in my maths GCSE, okay? I'm not an idiot. Some of us are just words people. Okay, moving on. Everyone kept saying, oh, you get a Letterman jacket when you do varsity. Varsity in the UK, to my knowledge, means sports between university teams. We don't have it in school. So what does that look like for you guys? 2, how many proms do you have? Because I thought you just had like 1, but coming onto TikTok, it feels like there's 1 every other day. And what's the difference between prom and homecoming? Where are you coming home to? 3, how realistic is Mean Girls on a scale of 1 to 10?
I didn't bother. 5's bothered. Shakespeare's sonnets, I ain't even bothered. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hair be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damask red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfume is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music have a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress when she walks treads on the ground. And yet by heaven I think my love as rare as any she belies with force compare. Bite me, alien boy!
I work in press. Okay, I'm not a journalist. I don't work for a publication or a broadcaster, but I work with people who do. Channel 4 could not put out a documentary like that without incredibly strong evidence. They simply couldn't do it. We have incredibly strenuous libel laws in this country. And I think if you watch the documentary, because I'm assuming a lot of the people defending Russell Brand haven't bothered to watch it, but if you watch it, I think they do a quite good job of presenting a lot of that evidence, because they have to, because otherwise they would be sued to oblivion. I mean, it wouldn't have been aired. Like, the Times and Channel 4's legal teams will have gone over this investigation with a tooth comb, because if any of it didn't stand up to scrutiny, the very rich, very powerful, for whatever he likes to chat about being this poor, lonely wellness influencer, very powerful Russell Brand and his legal team would have come for them. So before you jump on the internet and defend that awful man, by saying that this is all a conspiracy and an agenda. Do some research on defamation and libel in the UK, all right? Because trust me, these are big, respected institutions. They would not have put something out like this. They would not have been legally able to if the evidence wasn't watertight. I see loads of videos of Americans being like, here's some British words that I think are really cute. And I thought I'd just return the favour. Because it's nice to be nice, isn't it? You know? Why are we always fighting? And I'm sure I'm going to get Brits in the comments being like, well, I say all those words. Fine. But these are words that I mainly hear Americans using, okay? Number 1, ladybug. Ladybug! Are you kidding? That is so much better than ladybird. Ladybird also implies that it could be like terrifyingly huge. Ladybug is just small and cute. Number 2, tater tots. That does not sound right in my accent, tater tots. Sounds better in American. Hey, could I please get some tater tots? I'd like some tater tots with my grits. Sorry, I don't know what grits are, I've just got overexcited. I only ever hear Americans talking about tater tots and they sound delicious. Thirdly, Sasquatch. I just had to look up what Sasquatch is because I realised I don't even know what it means. Bigfoot, apparently. Maybe people say that in the UK, but I've not heard it, right? I know what Bigfoot is, I didn't know what Sasquatch was. But it's really fun to say, Sasquatch.
What salary do you think you need to earn to live in London?
180.
Guess I'm dead.